We're back, and the gang's all here. Sphinx City is a modern and magical metropolis where the BBG is capitalism. Greedy CEOs, corrupt officials, and evil corporations beware because our heroes are on the case. The dwarven chef fighter who married into the mob, Belkor the Butcher Ironbelly, played by Dale Daniels Jr. The goblin monk artificer with a robotic dog that turns into a rocket-powered skateboard, Jasta Fixadet, played by Taylor Hellstrom. The Goliath sorcerer, former assassin and father that's been called out of retirement, John the Painter Smith, played by Daniel Hargrove. The kobold college dropout, alchemist, and street seller of pharmaceuticals, Tint, the TNT, played by Malia Deza. And the dungeon master is none other than Justin Galliani. The 1% may have money, resources, and influence, but they're about to get 99% of their asses kicked. So get the f*** on the subway and let's get started, baby. Hey gang, and welcome back to another episode of Sphinx City Season 2. I'm Justin, I'm going to be your dungeon master for the rest of this series, and I'm joined today with some incredible players who are just as excited as I am to get this story started. Oh, the dice is out, we're ready to go. Let's go around and do some quick introductions. Feel free to plug anything that you would like, and as always, let's do this alphabetically.
Hi, I'm Dale. I go by Death Breath, and I'm playing Belkor Ironbelly, a dwarf fighter that is also a chef.
The Butcher.
Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, also known as Daniel, the DM, across all corners of the internet. Now, more specifically, YouTube and Instagram and Blue Sky. So find me over on those places. But today, as usual, I will be playing John Smith, the painter. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. And that's it. Super excited to be here.
Everyone, I'm Malia Deza. You can find me on all of your non-banned apps at just Malia Deza. You can also find my debut novel, The Revenant's Bargain, either on my website, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. There's the map. And I will be playing Tint, a college dropout young kobold whose frontal lobe is definitely not developed, but he's still making potions as a little artificer.
And I'm Taylor. I'm the other half of the So You Want to Be a DM podcast. You can find us on the ones that are still around at the time of airing as So You Want to Be a DM. Find us on Spotify, iTunes, wherever, podcast stuff. And I'll be playing Jaster, who is a little punchy / goblin boy.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Punchy / locksmith goblin boy.
Yeah.
We are so excited. Okay. Last we left off, our heroes, our secret agents of this top secret organization known as No One, found themselves inside of the cemetery, the Lucy T.B. Rizzoli Cemetery. What does the TB stand for, you might ask? Well, our heroes were ambushed by the Banshee, who had just resurrected 3 assassins with unmarked graves, the Sandman, the Black Knight, La Llorona. But unfortunately, they were met with 4 tenacious heroes who would not go down without a fight, and they were swiftly dealt with. Swifter than some maybe thought it would go. It went differently than I imagined, but good for the players and for the story. John Smith, feeling out of retirement, back in the game, picking up the paintbrushes, choosing mostly red for some of these paintings, but nonetheless, creating a smorgasbord of artwork across the tombstones of the cemetery. And Tint, our college dropout, took a ton of damage, almost died, but also had a flaming sphere that just would not quit. Jaster and Twofer, absolutely just so many reactions across the board, making my life a living hell. And Belkor the Butcher Ironbelly, just absolutely slashing through most of their defenses. And that is where we find ourselves right now. We're still in the cemetery. The battle is done. We found a bunch of interesting clues. Black dahlia flower petal leaves, some strange fertilizer that didn't belong in this area, seemed out of place or brought here or something, as well as the banshee having a key on her, a key that had a little tag on it that Jaster was able to recognize as belonging to the Phoenix Bank in Sphinx City, specifically a security deposit box or a safety deposit box or whatever the hell they're called. And that is where we find ourselves. Tint has also managed to harvest, if you will, lots of interesting components and ingredients from our undead assassins post-mortem. So it is past midnight. You guys have just finished a rather strenuous combat. How's everyone looking?
Well, I
Better.
leveled up, and so great.
Not bloody.
Tints.
I may have accidentally hit the long rest button.
It's totally
This guy.
cool.
That's
Vince?
classic. This guy over here.
Tint looks physically weaker a little bit.
Interesting. Okay. Well, is there anything you guys would say to each other as you have finished this first combat as a team, getting to see, for Belkor and Jaster, the first time getting to see Tint and John in true action, and also vice versa. For Tint, probably the first time has been in death-defying combat, and for John, slipping on an old jacket that you remember fondly, or maybe not so fondly.
Yeah, I think I remember how to do this. I think John would be like, "Good job, Tint. Good job. That was,
Thanks.
good work out
Yeah,
there."
no, I do stuff like this all the time. You know, this is just another Tuesday night. You know, me, I hop on my motorcycle, vigilante stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Vigilante. All right. Cool. So we're in good hands, I guess. So
Yeah.
So since I noticed that Tint is not looking the best, can I hand them one of my potions of healing?
Yeah, if you
will
want to.
accept.
Yeah, you know, I really appreciate this, but I think what I really need is just, you know, to get through the night, maybe some hair of the dog in the morning, and then get right back out there.
All right.
And then
Thank you.
also you'd see that John slowly starts to shrink back to his normal size. His giant form is kind of reduced down, and then his eyes are no longer that draconic reptilian iris with a yellow tint to it, and then changes back to a grayish purple iris, and then his pupils go back to a normal round shape. Yes.
You know, it's kind of odd that like this form of you is no less scary than
it's still
the other form. Like,
I thought the mustache should make me look more approachable, but
I feel like you're kind of like you're walking that line of like dad. Well, I guess like you are a dad, but like harmless suburban dad.
Yeah,
with the
but there's
mustache.
just so it does make you a little more approachable, but there's just an aura
gotcha.
of danger that it's really hard to put your finger on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I have a lot going on. I used to know those guys.
That was kind of obvious.
Yeah. It did seem personal there at the end.
Yeah.
Like, you just held her into that flame.
Yeah.
It's easier to show because one thing you also see is that John took all these slashes, but he doesn't wear armor at all whatsoever. He's just wearing normal clothes, and so he kind of takes off his jacket and then he takes off his shirt, and you see, of course, his upper body is just completely covered in just tattoos. Like if you can read draconic and giant. You'll see like someone's like death before dishonor and stuff like that, and like just like a whole bunch of like, oh, that's, I don't know what that means, but that's probably on a watch list. But the thing that also kind of takes up a lot of focus is that you see on his chest there's just a massive old surgical scar that takes up most of his left pectoral, and just kind of goes all the way across from like the shoulder, all the way into like his collarbone. He goes, growing up, I didn't have a choice but to join them. They took me in and taught me how to kill. And one thing about them is that they try to make you as strong as possible. So for me, they cut me open and put a dragon's heart in my chest.
Oh.
So, that's part of where the fire comes from. I had some natural inclination towards magic, but regardless, that just amplified it, and they still taught me how to kill.
Yeesh.
Well, they did a good job.
Yeah.
And then he puts his shirt back on. He's like, yeah, so I got out, but that's a little bit complicated how I got out. So I need to figure out how they found me, because they weren't supposed to. I wanted out of that life.
Okay.
You mean, like when they blew up your ice cream store?
Yeah.
By the way, that was good ice cream.
Thanks. Yeah. It was my wife's idea. So. But is there anything else we need to go over? I'm sure we'll meet up, grab some breakfast.
We should probably look into this key thing tomorrow.
Agreed. I can disguise myself as the Banshee. That helps as well. I have a spell for that.
That's cool.
Then we
Might
should
be able to whip something up in the lab to help.
All right.
should probably hide these bodies then, so that they don't know that the
Well,
Banshee's dead.
I mean,
we are
Banshee
in a
is-
we're in a
graveyard.
graveyard.
Weird. Look at that.
Ah.
And there's an
Read my
open
mind.
grave
Oh my God.
right there. And right there.
What a coinky dink.
Hey, an empty grave. Hmm.
But I guess I'm a little bit nervous that if we put them back into the graves with the magic dirt, that they could
Ooh.
like come back. So maybe instead we give them a cremation.
Do you know a place where we can keep bodies?
I mean, I probably have a bit of extra room at my lab.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you all just seemed really well connected. I didn't know if you had like a You knew a
Belkor,
guy had, like, a
got space
morgue.
You're walking, don't you?
or-
I mean, I might know a person that might be able to clean this up.
Okay.
'cause, Tent brings up a good point. Them getting a hold of the bodies again, whoever they were working with, that'd be a big problem for all of us if they came back again.
Right.
Again and again and again.
I mean, we could just dismember the body parts and just spread them across random parts of the world.
We could just
I will say
Yeah.
it's really late, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
it would be quicker if you could like call somebody who's got a truck, or can we call no one? Do they have a truck that we can use, or I don't know how this works.
Belkor, you know of a very particular person
I
who
do.
specializes in this exact thing,
Mhm.
I know.
the custodian. We're full of titles
I'm gonna call her up.
in this world. You call her up. It rings for a little bit. It is late, and then you hear on the other end the call picks up, and you hear, "Yes, this is the custodian. How can I help you?"
Hey, it's the butcher.
Oh,
Funny story. Yeah, doing all right. So, funny story.
Right.
How soon can we get a truck here?
Well, it's pretty late, but I could probably get there. We'll call it like tight 30 minutes. I could probably be over there by how
That'll
big's the
work.
job? What are we looking at?
Let's see.
How
we
big's the
got,
spill?
And I start like counting. Let's see. We'll see. Sandman. We've got the Black Knight. We've got the Banshee, and we've got Rona. Or am I forgetting someone?
I don't think so.
Oh, is the
Or
ghost thing?
Undead ghost body.
Is the police still there?
No, he disappeared when
Did you
the
poof?
when the dude died.
So yeah, I've got like 4 undead zombie.
Oh, gotcha.
Ooh.
Okay, we're working with that. Okay. Yeah. I can get. Yeah, I might need me one of my guys to come with me. But yeah, I could contract this one out, no problem. Yeah, I'll be there in 30 minutes. We're actually.
Oh
shit.
yeah, I should
Where
probably
are
say
you?
where. Slipped my mind there. We're at the graveyard.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I'll be over there in 30 minutes.
All right, sounds good. See you then.
Okay. See you
Drive
soon.
safe.
That's service. Doesn't matter where you are in the city. 30 minutes.
Right.
Forward time. Does it matter if it's rush hour? Like 4:00 on a Thursday. 30 minutes? Or is it like the
Who
pizza thing
knows?
where like 30 minutes where it's free?
I mean, it's always.
I think
free
it's only
for
free
me,
if they're
but-
late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
or
would say,
someone catches you.
Belkor, you would know that the custodian could probably make it happen no matter what the traffic situation is.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone wait the 30 minutes?
Do
I'll
I
wait.
do I have to be here for this? I only ask because I do have to make my kid lunch for school in the morning.
Oh
You
yeah, dude.
Go deal
Go-
with your
go deal with
fatherly
your kid.
duties.
It's really I haven't done assassinating in a long time. It's actually really late for me right now.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's fine. We'll hang out.
Amazing.
I think
Talk to you
I'm gonna
later.
head off
Alright.
to
Be safe.
you know,
All right.
do my thing in the lab.
Hey, good work today. Make sure you get some sleep.
Oh yeah, of course. Hour in the lab and then straight to bed. I promise.
Okay.
Okay.
Incredible.
Well, as he walks off, he's like, "I'm not sleeping tonight."
Amazing. Just out of curiosity, Tint and John, how do you guys get home? Would just based on your characters, there's no cost involved. I keep most things especially in this game and like this world setting. Most things are just like when you go out to eat, for example, like those things are just, we're not going to count the gold that it costs to get pancakes for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things are just going to straight up be like free for the sake of not keeping track of money. But what is your character's preferred mode of transportation? I know that Tint says that he has a motorcycle, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. So your options are kind of just a normal taxi. There's the subway. There's obviously walking or having your own form of transportation, whatever that may be. And then there is a rideshare program called Tuba. You can order a tuba. The mascot is a large brass instrument with eyeballs, and they only play big band music inside of the cars. So that's if you're interested in
That's
that.
awful.
You can also get a Tuba XL. There's a whole thing.
I think John would have taken the metro.
Yeah.
Take the subway.
Absolutely.
Just for the ability to see if anybody's still tailing him, things of that nature.
For sure.
And also just I think he actually wants the longer ride back to just think and let everything sink in about what's happening.
Yeah.
Are John and Tint going even remotely the same direction?
True. Yeah.
Bye, guys, and you walk off the same way.
You,
See ya.
hey.
I don't know. It's Tint walks all the way to the subway with you and then looks at the map.
Nice. You lost? You need help getting back?
Not lost. No, I grew up in the city. I know the system. It just sometimes takes me a moment because I don't have a map and I don't remember where you live. Are we going the same way, Justin?
Tint, you're not going directly home.
Not going home. No, I'm going to my lab.
So you're going to Gnome Witch Village. John, you are going home, correct?
Yeah, so that'd be in Minotaur West.
Gotcha,
I'd say that'd
gotcha.
probably be, since that's where the restaurant was, I'd live near by the.
Yeah. So there's a
Shop.
possibility that you would take like one train and then probably Tint would have to like switch trains.
Yeah, so
Like, get on a
Tint's
different
going. Tint's hitching, like sticking next to John as long as he can. And Tint is not shutting up. Yeah, dude, that was so cool. You know, you were like, bop, and then she was like, bop, and then you were like, bop, face in flame. Like, it was just so cool. Oh my god.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
And then I
it.
was also like, bop, then like, argh, and I thought I was gonna die.
Yes, you sound like my kid when they're on their games. What is it they play?
Dude, Fortnite.
Not what is it? Forthright? What? What is it called? Forthright?
Fortnite.
With a K.
With a K.
Oh, just some
What did you
random
call-
guy, some other guy across the. Oh, okay,
He like over
Oh.
his newspapers just says that. It's with a K though.
gotcha. Yeah.
God, seriously, if you ever want to, you should come by the lab. It's in like underneath a gamescape, you know, the game store. And you can come by and you and I can just play. You know, I got a VR headset, got lots of games. You and I can just hang out.
My kid's really into that. So, and they say they have to carry me when we
Oh.
play. I'm not good at it, so.
Well, I can totally help you.
Yeah, I'll come by and I'll play so you can help me learn.
Sweet.
I'd appreciate it.
Tit like turns kind of away. He's like, oh, yeah, cool. Whenever.
You guys continue along. Eventually, Tint, you would get off first, and then
Mhm.
actually, yeah, I misspoke before. John, you'd be the one who has to switch trains and head further
Gotcha.
north to Minotaur West. But Tint, you get off of the subway, take the stairs up back to the street level, and find yourself walking down the streets of Gnome Witch Village. This is the district that, in its design, it's kind of set up for smaller folk. So kobolds, gnomes, halflings, and the like. But it's not to say that anybody couldn't enjoy the stores and shops or live here or anything like that. It's just the street signs are a little bit shorter. The booths inside the restaurants are a little bit smaller. Just everything kind of scaled down a little bit. You pass by a 24-hour diner called the Gastrognome. There's
I'm
also
stopping in there.
incredible. You walk in. It's
Like if I feel like Tint's got like a usual takeout order. Like he walks in and they're like on it.
amazing. What is your takeout order at this 24-hour diner? Picture like a very classic. I think of these as East Coast things, but like that very classic Americana style diner with like the chrome and like Formica countertops and stuff like that. They might have like a soda jerk working behind the counter and stuff like that. They do like a nice chocolate egg cream if you're interested, but they also have a menu that is as thick as a novel, and every page is laminated. And they serve everything from like huevos rancheros, pancakes, club sandwiches, lobster, you name it.
I feel like this, like again, Tint is freshman in college, so he's going with a classic, like either breakfast pizza or breakfast burger. I'm feeling the breakfast burger today. I feel like that's the mood.
Incredible. As soon as you walk in, you see the familiar face of a older gnomish woman, hair's up in like a beehive, old school kind of style. She's wearing like a very light pink dress with an apron on it. Name tag says Rose, which I'm gonna write down. in case it ever comes up again.
Well, it's gonna come up.
Classic D&D. We have to go get Rose to join the party. You remember Rose, right? From 3 episodes ago? We never forgot.
And Rose sees you and just says, "Darling, how's it going?"
Ted's just gonna like sit down at one of the stools and put his head in his hand, like, I'm cool, right? You think I'm cool, right?
Absolutely, you're cool. You're one of the coolest customers who ever comes in here late at night and orders breakfast foods.
Okay. Okay. That makes me feel. I mean, I had a really good night. Really good night. Can't really talk about it, but like it was really great. And you know, no better way to end it than with my usual. So, breakfast burger to go.
Breakfast burger to go. You got it. Yells back at the chef. You see like through the little window where you can kind of see the back kitchen. You just see a treant, a tree person who is like slinging food on a hot griddle and stuff like that. Every once in a while accidentally catches some of their leafage beard on fire and has to like quick put it out. They go through fire extinguishers like crazy. And Rose looks through the window and just yells, "Hey Samuel, we just need a cow jumping over the sun, baby." He goes, "All right, you got it." Little code word. And in no time at all, you're given a incredible breakfast burger, which in my head, let's see if our ideas of what a breakfast burger are similar.
That's fair.
I'm picturing just a burger with a fried egg on top.
Yes.
Okay.
Like that's like the main piece, but there's also bacon.
Okay.
On it. What else? Do you say like it's like an omelet, except for the eggs aren't like scrambled or anything. But like it has the fried egg on the burger, and then it has like obviously cheese. I've also had avocado on my breakfast burgers. Maybe a little bit of like a spicy aioli.
Oh, fancy. Okay.
Yeah. You know these places, they always have like one or two like special sauces that you're like, is this good? And then yeah.
100%.
Also, this is the greasiest burger. Like the bag is already kind of dripping wet.
And they give it to you in that same brown paper bag that you're used to. The grease kind of beginning to seep through the bag itself, not just from the burger, but also French fries that are sort of included, seasoned well,
it's like
crisp
a
on the
Five
outside,
Guys,
fluffy on the inside. Exactly like Five Guys in that regard of the brown paper bag. That is getting greasy.
They're like one scoop of fries, and it's like
so much, so good. And
wonderful.
You grab your food and begin to head out. As you do, you also pass by another establishment that is open very late. There is a, how do I phrase this? There is a, it's like a dance club. It's a strip club. There's a strip club called Heat. And it's got mostly male or masculine presenting dancers. And it's run by a very old halfling woman named Isabella. But it's got kind of like blacked out windows. You can't really see inside unless you go inside. But you can kind of hear the music bumping a little bit as you walk past. And finally, you make it to the darkened windows.
Can I stop at a convenience store to get just a ton of energy drinks?
100% you can. Yeah, absolutely. There's bodegas across Sphinx City.
Okay.
Some
easy
are
enough.
like I suppose more popular than others. There's one that's literally called the Bodega, but that's somewhere else in the town. But there's convenience stores
Tint
everywhere.
just stops. Yeah, he just stops at like he gets his burger, and then the next bodega he sees, he stops in, grabs energy drinks that are not good for him, and continues on.
Incredible. Grab a bunch of energy drinks. Would Tint be drinking kind of like closer to like Red Bulls and Monsters, or like 5 Hour Energies?
No, definitely like a Red Bull or a Monster.
Okay, incredible.
Yeah.
And you continue on after getting some energy drinks to keep you up all night. And finally, you come to the darkened storefront because it is after hours. It's a normal shop, so it's not going to be open at 12:30, 1 a.m. But you're there, and I imagine you have a key or some way to
Yeah.
get inside. Of course, they trust you with this stuff. Not to mention, this is important for you to be able to go in and out after hours because this location is owned by Silver Scales, technically.
Actually, though, do they trust Tint, or does he have to call someone to unlock the door for him?
That's pretty funny. Let's roll a dice about it. Roll a d20 and call odds or evens.
All right.
And
We'll
if it's
go
what
evens.
okay, so if it's evens, you just have a key. They trust you.
They gave me a key before they realized. It's evens. It's 16.
It's evens. You have a key.
Yeah. After he's like trying to find it on his person. He's like, which pocket is it? He puts his hands into his he wears a sweatshirt with the front pocket. He puts his hands in and he's like, oh, knew I put it somewhere for safekeeping. And he unlocks the door.
Incredible. Unlock the front door, walk inside. The signage out front is currently off, but it says Gamescape, the S being capitalized, as well as the G, obviously. And as you walk in, it looks like a normal video game store. There's shelving on the walls that has all the different kinds of games for different systems, and even like some PC games and stuff like that. There's like different accessories and devices for various consoles and whatnot. Some virtual reality headsets. There's a couple games that are kind of set up with TVs for testing, for trying things like most video game stores have. And you would know to go into the back office and that there's a like broom closet in the back that also has like a like an HVAC system in it and stuff like that, and that there's like a very specific set of combinations and stuff like that.
Yeah, Tint just puts in his code.
You put in this like secret little code, and you see the HVAC system.
It's actually just it's the upside down of how you used to spell boobies on a calculator. They let Tint set it up.
Amazing. Incredible. So what is that? 8008135
It's
or
6.
something similar to that?
6. Oh wait, no, because you have to put.
Yeah, so it would be 5531808, and then flip it and it becomes boobies. I think. Someone fact check me on that, but anyway.
Someone grab a calculator.
Someone grab a goddamn
Run to the
calculator.
comments.
And so you type in boobies, and the secret
Tint
hatch
chuckles to himself.
the secret hatch opens up and reveals a ladder that descends down into a darkened room. As you get down there, you flip a couple lights on, and these like bright luminescent lights kick on, and you have your lab set out in front of you. What does it sort of look like in here? Like, is it super high tech? Is it kind of jerry-rigged together? Like, what's the sort of vibe that we're getting from this?
Tint has only been in one like lab that wasn't made in his parents' basement. So this looks exactly like a freshman or like chemistry 101 lab.
Amazing.
So it's decent equipment. When they were like, what do you need? Tint just like basically like pulled up a picture of his chemistry class. I was like, this is it. So there's like everything you would usually find. Like there's the hood for ventilation, there's benches, he's got, Bunsen burner, like it's all there.
There's
It
an
just
eye
very
wash
much
station.
there's an eye with the giant the shower,
There's a
and the eye
shower
wash
with the drain.
station. Oh, yeah.
Incredible. Wow, that brings me back. Okay.
They're like, why is the water bill so high, Tint? And he's like, I don't know. And he's just doing the like putting a bucket up there and pulling the shower just to see it go off.
Amazing. Well, you're in there. You have the entire lab to yourself. What would you like to do first?
I'm going to first start with probably like some kind of culturing of the soil.
The fertilizer?
The fertilizer, yeah.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
dirt, the magic dirt. Because I feel like that might need time to like for reactions to happen. So if I can get that started first. And like I'm probably gonna run a bunch of different tests on that. So we just gotta like start that and then he can start playing with the fun stuff he found.
Amazing. So you get that started. The culture
Like
of the
full,
fertilizer and
chemical workup kind of thing.
beginning this full workup. Absolutely. You get that started. And then
And
you have all these other components.
Yeah, I have 2 vials of ectoplasm and 5 wisps
Mhm.
of shadows. And I think the first thing that comes into Tint's mind with these 2 ingredients is, can he create some sort of misty step of ectoplasm and wisp of shadows?
Oh, interesting.
Seamless, like a misty step, but almost like the shadows will help him kind of like transport. And then he's hoping that with this ectoplasm, like wherever he lands, it's just like an acid blast around him. So it's
Oh, that's
very harmful.
fun. Okay, interesting. I'll make you roll for that because that's
Okay.
probably cooler than what I was thinking they were gonna do. Hell yeah, let's combine them into one thing. That's genius. Okay.
Tint's pretty smart.
Go ahead and you're proficient with an alchemy set, I imagine.
I am. Yes.
And alchemy we're gonna use, is intelligence one of your higher modifiers, if not one of the highest?
it is the highest.
Incredible. So go ahead and roll a d20, add your proficiency and your intelligence, and that's gonna be alchemy essentially.
Okay. I'm just trying to see if I have anything because, like, I obviously have a lot of other stuff. I have Flash of Genius. So when you or another creature you can see makes an ability check or a saving throw, you can use your reaction to add your intelligence modifier to the roll. So can I add my intelligence modifier twice?
Oh yes, in that, yeah, you'd be using your reaction, yeah, because you only get a certain number of those per day, but
Yep.
you haven't used
I
any.
have
and
not used it.
Yeah, you haven't gone to sleep yet, so yeah, absolutely you can.
I have 4 of these.
Incredible. Yeah.
Okay, so wait, sorry, wait.
So d20
Yep.
proficiency, and then I guess
Okay.
your intelligence modifier twice.
Okay, so our proficiency bonuses didn't go up at level 8, right?
No, I think it should still be a +3.
Okay, so that means that I have a modifier of +11 to this roll.
Amazing.
Tint's so ready. He's like, he pulls the goggles down, he like puts the gloves on, he like dims the lights. It's such a good thing that I have that +11 because I rolled a 9. So it's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20 is exactly what I was thinking for making this work. So what I'm gonna say is, if you combine 1 wisp of shadow with 1 vial of ectoplasm, you can make this potion. What this potion is going to do is you drink it, and then for the next, let's say, hour, you have this like explosive misty step that you have access to. Now you can only use it once and then it's
Right.
done, but you have an hour to use it. So you don't need to necessarily do it as combat starts. You can take it in preparation for combat or something like that. But it's going to work. The Misty Step part is exactly like Misty Step. It's a bonus action, 30 feet. You have to see where you're going, all that jazz. The second part is going to operate like, let's look up an acid spell and figure this out.
It could just be what acid was it? Acid splash,
Yeah, acid splash makes a ton of sense.
which I think is
doesn't it?
yeah, because it's a cantrip.
It is a cantrip.
So like it would just be like 5 feet around the Misty Step location. Tint, I want to specify. Tint's trying to make it so he doesn't take damage. It's like around
no doubt.
him.
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
of course. So we'll set it up so that it is an acid splash. It is technically better than the actual cantrip because you could, if in theory you popped up in the middle of like and you were surrounded by people, acid splash technically, don't count me on the 2024 version because I don't know it off the top of my head, but 2014 you can at most hit 2 creatures,
right? And
this one you could hit more as long as they're within 5 feet, and
Gotcha.
it's still going to use the same, like you're level 8, so you would use the 5th level increase of damage, so 2d6.
Wonderful.
So you can make 2 potions of that.
Yeah. After he does it the first time, he like this is like Frankenstein's monster level accomplishment for him. He's like, it worked, and he makes 2 of them. So he has 3
Incredible.
wisps of shadows left.
3 wisps of shadows left. Go ahead and roll another alchemy check.
Alrighty. And he's gonna use his. Apparently, he thinks he's taking a midday nap. 24.
24. With a 24, you could combine all of those wisps of shadow left, the remaining 3, and you could make oil of etherealness, which I'm sure I won't regret and is going to be totally fine. And I've read over this, what this does once, and I'm like, that's fine.
Like, yeah,
It's a
give
rare
that to
potion.
Tint.
So you can create an oil of etherealness. So beads of cloudy gray oil forming on the outside of the container are quickly evaporating constantly, but the inside is this like viscous oil that kind of looks smoky and shadowy, but it's very much an oil. And essentially you have to it takes 10 minutes to apply this oil to a person. However, after that, you have a full hour of the etherealness spell.
Wonderful.
Which is pretty intense.
All right. Yeah. It's a good day. A good night of work for Tint.
A very good night. And we'll get back to the fertilizer in a moment because we're going to step away from there. Belkor and Jaster, you guys are in the cemetery. 30 minutes go by. Eventually, you hear a sort of familiar rumbling, the motor of essentially a Vespa is what it was last time. You hear this Vespa cruising down one of the cobblestone paths in the cemetery, and you just hear, oh, God, oh, here we go. All right, and we're here. And just like bumping along, so rocky. And finally pulling up is the custodian, a older woman, pixie fairy woman, small little wings, sort of like has her hair up in a tight bun, large glasses, massive hoop earrings, like thick red lipstick, just like she has brought with her a small orangutan. Yeah, she brought a small. It's like straddling behind her on the Vespa, and like has its arm. It's like massively long ape arms around her waist. It's like 3 times the size of her, but it's still like a rather small orangutan compared to what you might see in the zoo, like a full-grown one. And both of them pull up, and she starts going into the little pack on the back of the Vespa and pulling out different supplies and stuff like that. She flutters over to you, Belkor, and says, "All right, so show me where the spills are."
Well, it looks like we had a little bit of a spill over here. As you can see, there's this nice just scorch of just fire.
Yeah. You want me to get rid of that too? Leave no signs? Is that sort of the vibe?
I mean, we're mostly looking for the bodies to be, the messes to be scrubbed. But I mean, just in case.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to know, we don't want anyone to know that we were really here. You know.
Totally understand. No problem. I brought my specialist. He's a holy man, so he can deal with all the hooby-jooby with the, the dead bodies and the resurrections and the whatever. And you see as she's talking to you, the orangutan is, again, not wearing any clothes, just looks like a normal-ass orangutan. Is just, you see them walking over to all of the dead bodies of the assassins and just going... and just kind of making a little cross over their forehead and is just kind of like touching their faces. She's going, he does beautiful work. He does beautiful work. Anyway, let's get to it. And she rubs her hands together, pulls out a massive, like out of her, the back of her Vespa, pulls out a massive like push broom and just starts getting to work. She's like sweeping up ashes. She starts moving things around. She says, we want these bodies completely gone or back in the ground?
Definitely not back in the ground. No.
Okay.
We've got a friend that's looking at some of the dirt here that looks like may have brought them back to begin with.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I got what I need for that. Shit. I didn't bring my vat of acid.
Well, how about this? I don't have a vat, but I know someone that I know I might be able to get some for you.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
I
that'd be
reach in
great.
my apron of things?
You
And pull
absolutely
out
can.
Freaking acid.
You, Belkor, begin to reach into the front pocket on your apron of random things. And as your hand reaches in, we whisk away. We begin to hear the wind chimes and like angelic sounds as we change scenes, like The Simpsons, like clouds come in and like transition us to a different world, a smaller world, a much smaller world, as we see a hyper futuristic city. There are floating skyscrapers, flying cars going past, these like anti-gravity street lights that are blinking random colors. We zoom into a small family riding in a hovercraft shaped like kind of a minivan sort of vibe. We see in the passenger seat is a woman, in the driver's seat is a man, and there's a bunch of kids in the back, and the husband's going, listen, babe, I'm telling you, I'm gonna find work any day now. It's gonna happen. Our luck's about to change. And at that moment, the entire city is filled with sirens as a loudspeaker is sounded, and you hear a voice come over the loudspeaker that says,
attention citizens, the hand has returned. It is our time. Act accordingly, friends. This is our moment.
And in super slow motion, Belkor's hand, the size of mountains, slowly begins reaching down from the sky, piercing clouds, as it reaches towards an ancient-looking pedestal the size of also a mountain, I suppose. Maybe more of a plateau or a mesa or something like that, as it is flat at the top. And as the hand reaches towards it, the loudspeaker continues and says,
He wants some acid. The hand seeks acid. Get it done.
and immediately you see the dad in the car go, "See? I told you." And the wife kind of like face palms and is like, "Oh my God." And then we see a time lapse as the entire city begins to rapidly work together, creating these different chemicals. And like we see a chemical plant, and there's like a quick moment of like a nuclear reactor problem goes down. A bunch of people in hazmat suits start sprinkling around into the thing. That entire section of the ecosystem gets completely burned out because of chemical waste. There's like an entire quick like montage of like an EPA like congressional hearing talking about pollution and stuff like that, and everyone's just going, "But the hand needs the acid. You don't understand. The hand needs the acid." And finally, after what seems like years of work, the city inside of Belkor's apron pocket has created a jar full of acid. And Belkor, the hand slowly reaches down and grasps it. And as Belkor just, for all of everybody in the real world in Sphinx City, this takes 2 seconds. He reaches in, pulls out a jar of acid. But unbeknownst to anybody, years of work have gone into this. And you pull out a jar of acid.
They went through the whole entire series of Chernobyl in that time.
It was huge. It was a big deal. You should have seen when he asked for a plastic bag.
Yeah.
How many animals died?
What I will tell you, Daniel and Molly, maybe not being familiar with season 1, other times that we have visited this in teeny tiny little town, time moves differently there, right? So there was times when they were just a normal town. It wasn't hyper futuristic and stuff like that. So things move really quickly there. That being said, Belkor, you have your acid. You hand it over to the custodian. She says, "Thanks, doll. Appreciate it. This'll work." And she takes it. She sprinkles some fairy dust on it, and it multiplies into like multiple jars of acid. And she begins melting the bodies and cleans up the crime scene. And in a matter of 15 minutes, it's as if no one was ever here.
Great work as always.
You know me. You know, that's why they pay me the big bucks,
You
baby.
even got the bloodstains out. This is phenomenal.
That's my specialty. That's my specialty. Anyway, I gotta bring this guy back to the zoo.
All right.
All right.
Wait,
Okay.
which zoo?
Take it easy. Midling Park. Anyway. Hop on, Coco. She gets back on her Vespa. The orangutan gets behind her and wraps its massive arms around her. And they begin driving off through the cemetery on their Vespa on the cobblestone paths, just bumping along the way. And they leave, and you guys are good to go.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess what we're meeting at the bank after.
We should meet at
Yeah.
We'll go meet at the bank. All right, Twofer, let's go. And Twofer kind of like transformers into a rocket skateboard. Yeah.
Amazing. And Belkor, you can also begin heading back to Little Feywild. Pretty close, considering where you guys are at. As you guys are traveling home and everything, Belkor, you make it home. You're greeted by Gwen, your tiefling wife, who says, "Sweetie, you were out so late. Is everything all right?"
Just work, but I'm just glad to be home.
Amazing.
We'll get some
I'm
rest
happy
and,
that you're home. Of course.
I'm glad to be home as well. Just and I hang my I puck that fedora on the coat rack. Just
Incredible.
it's been a long day.
I bet. Well, listen, I was just about to hop in the bath. I think there's room if you're interested. I got a special bath bomb today. It's supposed to have dice inside of it. I don't understand what the point of that is. I'm gonna end up sitting on a piece of dice. It makes no sense, but it's there and it smells like patchouli.
Patchouli. Can I roll to see if I know what that is?
Patchouli? Yeah. Go ahead and roll. Goodness gracious, I have no idea. Nature.
Nature.
Yeah, nature makes the most sense.
I definitely don't know what it is. I got a 6. Sure,
Amazing.
patchouli. It's a plant, right?
It's like a collection of plants, kind of. It's just like a sort of scent,
Like a
like
potpourri?
kind of like, yeah, kind of like potpourri. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely join. And then we can just relax in bed.
And then just zonk out. All right,
Yes.
sounds good. And the two of you head off. The sultry music begins to start as we fade to black. We just see like a zoom in of like a bathrobe hit the ground and just like it hits your ankles, and that's all we get to see. And then it fades to black.
You see like a little splash come over the water as someone
Yeah.
sits down on a D4.
Oh, oh.
Was that fucking Lego? Jesus. Amazing. And we cut away from there. Jaster, as you're riding to for on your way back to Balder Town.
I'm really
and-
making it a Tony Hawk's Underground like track on the way back. You know, popping up, grinding on benches, doing like kickflips and shit. Just doing like
Hell yeah. As you're traveling, you do see that a couple of youths on the street also kind of having a little skate sesh down an alley that you pass by. They're just they have like some some plywood that they found in a dumpster, kind of like set up on a garbage can, like as a little ramp. They kind of have like a really makeshift situation set up here. Do you do anything?
right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like. Hey, get out of the way! As I'm barreling down the street and I see it and I like do like a quick cut and I'm like, hey, move for a second, and I run or not run, but take the skateboard up off of the ramp, dude. The sickest like kickflip 900 up in the air.
Flip 900.
Yeah.
Go
It's
ahead and make
it's
an
rocket
acro-
powered.
I know it's just so funny to do it. A single kickflip and also a 900.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
It's so funny.
It's more just my body.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll an acrobatics check just to see how sick it is.
That's a 23, baby.
Oh, hell
Yeah.
yeah. You nail it. 900, which, if memory serves, is 3 full rotations, I think. Because a 360,
A
720,
little less than 30.
and then another
So I
no,
land
another
backwards.
1.5. So it's like 3.5, I think. It would be a 900. So yeah, you land goofy style or whatever it's called. I can't
Right.
remember skate terms off the top of my head, but I think it's goofy. Yeah, you land. You see the teenagers, the like young adults who are kind of all skating are just like, whoa, what the hell kind of skateboard is that, dude?
Oh, this is totally custom.
Oh shit, man, that's some cutting edge stuff, bro.
Hell yeah. Well,
All right, I'm gonna go do a normal kickflip.
yeah, do some kickflips, do some practices.
Hell yeah, I will. One of them beats it. One of them got like a 15, which is like pretty average. Does like a solid kickflip. The
Nice.
next one does a kickflip and like it flips 1.5. Like it was in between a kickflip and a double kickflip.
Oh,
It kind
God.
of lands upside down. Their foot hits the wheel and just completely rolls their ankle. It's just like, oh shit.
Stay in school, kids.
Quick, spam triangle.
Hey, it's getting a little late. Maybe y'all should get him home.
The streets are our home.
Okay, cool.
No, but we will actually. Our mom's probably pissed. In all honesty, though, we are super past curfew. We are fucked. And they skate off as you
Don't
continue.
do drugs, and then
your
I
ride
like,
home.
go up on the wall as I leave.
Amazing. You do an insane wall ride for too long for
Right.
gravity to make sense.
Right.
You're just going so fast. And you make your way home. We cut from there over to John. John, you are getting home late. As you get to your house, or rather, I think it would make just because we're in such a big city and stuff like that, there aren't very many, if any, like standalone houses. But there's probably like, do you think, because I imagine, and we're going to figure this out here in this moment, I imagine that John has money
Yeah.
from his career. and
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
definitely
that, right?
like that neighborhood where it's like the houses are right next to one another, like along the street sort of thing. But it's like
Like
the
a brownstone kind of vibe?
yeah, doing all that
Absolutely.
sort of stuff.
Love that. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you're in the part of the town where there are like a little bit more trees on the streets and stuff like that. Like the landscaping done by the city themselves is like pretty nice. Minotaur West, similar or kind of the antithesis of Gnomewich Village, built up. Everything is a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. Park benches a little bit higher, and you make it home late at night. You do whatever combinations of crazy things you need to do to get past your insane security system. Can you walk us through what that would maybe look like?
Oh yeah, first things first is you look up and like the headlamp that kind of like it's just like the porch light actually doubles as a facial recognition camera. So it's going up and then a little panel is going to open up on the side and it's going to be a retinal scan. And then it's going to be a little activation for the voice code, Rosebud, and then the door's going to unlock. Then I'm able to go in, and then I got to go and turn off the secret alarm and enter the code in there, and then everything should be all set. But I would like to try to make a stealth check to make sure that I don't try to wake up the kid.
Absolutely.
That's a 19.
A 19. And also, what is your passive perception?
Ooh, let's see here.
Just because it's an RP episode doesn't mean shit can't go down.
11.
An 11, really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Well, you successfully stealth in. You definitely don't think that anyone has heard you enter in. But you also don't hear anything. You just assume that Ray is asleep, as they're supposed to be, because tomorrow's a school day.
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly try to creep up and just do the classic parent.
As soon as you look in, you see a blanket over the TV and a glaring light as it illuminates through the blanket. Ray is wide awake playing video games and did roll a 12 on their stealth, so you didn't notice it until this moment.
Okay, gotcha. Just go, boo!
Oh my god! Dad!
Aren't
What
you
the
supposed
heck?
to be asleep right now?
Well, yeah. Well, listen. Tommy called me, and he needed a second for the raid. We had to raid the wizard's
movie?
castle. The movie. What is that? One of your kung fu movies, Dad?
Yeah, the raid.
I've never heard of the raid.
Oh, okay, sorry. No. Oh, it's a game. The game's
Yeah.
called The Raid.
Well, no, the game's not called the raid. The raid is what you do. The game is called
They go raiding. It's a Viking game.
no.
You go a Vikinger. What is it?
No, you're not a Vikinger. What? I don't even
Well,
think that's a term.
you go a Viking.
No, it has nothing to do with Vikings. Vikings aren't even connected to this at all.
Oh, you said it was a raid. So
Yeah, it's just a bunch of people who are playing the same game, and we go and we're trying to storm the castle. It's the wizard's castle, and it's World of Wizardcraft, Dad.
gotcha. Okay.
I have a level 37 paladin, okay?
Nice.
I'm up there. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you want to
Paladins.
see my sword?
Yeah, sure. Paladins, they're dangerous.
And they bring the blanket falls down and stuff. You sit next to your son on the bed. He begins to show you, moves the camera around so that you can see third person style his character and stuff. And like he's kind of giving you like a 360 view as it kind of moves around his character. And you just are seeing this like absolutely yoked. It looks kind of like you. in some regards. Like tall, there's a mustache, a bunch of tattoos. Or does your son know about all your tattoos? Maybe not all of them, but does your son?
Yeah, I think he's
Granted,
definitely seen
he's
like
had
the
to have seen.
sleeves. Yeah, because
Yeah,
like it goes all the way down to the sleeves and the neck. And
you can see that there are tattoos covering this character's body and stuff like that. Um, but then they're wearing like intense, gnarly looking armor that has like this blackish metal look to it. And then you see this sword that the character is holding, and it just is like pop culture reference wise, it's like a busker blade, just like twice as long as the character is tall.
yeah,
And but the handle is like nice and thin and like two-handed. And he's like, yeah, so this is my paladin.
nice. As he's like just kind of like sitting there on the floor with them and just kind of leaned up against the wall and is like slowly starting to doze off. So what is he? What does he do? Is he smite? Is he
Yeah,
smite?
he actually does smite. Yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly what he does. So paladins are sort of like half casters. So like what that means is that like I have a couple spell slots, but like not as many as a wizard would or anything like
Yeah.
that. But then also like I got this cool sword and it's like a +2 great sword. It's not a big deal, but it's like really powerful and I had to do so many missions in order to get. Dad, why don't you go to sleep? Here, I'll
Hmm?
go to sleep too. Here, hold on. Let me
No.
save it. No, it's cool. I'm at a save point. It's fine. He like saves the game and like uh shuts it off and um comes over to you and he's like, so did you have a how's your day?
It was it's complicated, you know. I
Yeah, I mean ice cream is weird. So
well, you know, it's trying to get to the bottom of what happened with the shop. It
oh right, yeah. I almost forgot. Yeah, that did you like file a report with the police or something or
yeah, but I think this is something I got to figure out for myself.
okay. Well, you know, I might not be a 37 level paladin, but I could help you out if you want.
Thanks, kiddo. I appreciate it. Look, this weekend,
Oh, there's a big festival this weekend.
really, what's
Yeah,
going on?
the Little Feywild Festival in Midling Park.
Okay.
It's supposed to be pretty big. Do you
Where
want
did
to
you
go,
pl-
maybe go check that out?
Well,
Like Sunday night or so. It's like most of Sunday, but then it goes into the night and there's supposed to be like fireworks and shows and shops and food and stuff and like all kinds of stuff. Pretty
what are you
cool.
gonna go with some of your friends?
Yeah, I mean, I could go with some of my friends and stuff like that, of course. But I mean, if you're not doing anything, we could go.
Yeah, I'll let you know. It's just
And I know.
figuring out
You're
what's
busy.
going on.
Of course, yeah.
Because I mean, you know, this is your mom's. You know, it's your mom's idea, and
I know.
so losing the shop it's.
I get it.
like, yeah. But listen, kid, you get some sleep, all right? What do you want for lunch tomorrow? I'll make sure I make that before I go to sleep.
What do I want for lunch? Probably, I don't know, maybe like a grilled cheese with tomato soup and a thermos. Just keep it classic.
Sounds great. I'll get right
Awesome.
on that.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Dad.
Love you, Ray. Good night.
Love
buddy.
you too. Good night.
And I close the door and make sure everything's set up. But before I start cooking or anything like that, I take my gun and put it inside of my nightstand.
Amazing. Put it inside of your nightstand in a little compartment and stuff like that that's safe and
Yeah.
secure because that's important for gun safety.
Yes, it is.
And we leave that scene as John enters the kitchen, rolling their sleeves up, ready to cook a hell of a grilled cheese. That somehow will still be good the next day. But whatever. Magic exists. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
There's gotta be a magic lunchbox.
There's a way.
We
Yeah.
invested a lot of money into the lunchbox. It cost so much. When they lost the first one, it was annoying.
And as we cut away from there, we head back to Gamescape in the basement. Tint, hard at work, putting together all of these complicated ingredients in order to create magical concoctions. But we already have our oil of etherealness. We already have our 2 potions of acidic step, which is what I've just named it right now. Acidic step. And then you're pretty much done. We're fast forwarding a little bit. This is taking like the entire night creating all these concoctions and stuff. Go ahead and make first a Constitution saving throw.
Why would you ask me that?
Well, you're staying up all night, and if you don't hit the number that I have in my head, you're going to take a point of exhaustion.
Fair. Is that number you have in your head less than a 14?
No. It's a 15.
No!
You take 1 point of exhaustion. It is at this point, I would love one more alchemy check. And because you have 1 point of exhaustion, you're using 2014 rules for exhaustion, folks, just so everyone knows. Because I know them. And
I don't.
And I
Googling
like them.
this.
It's just disadvantage on ability checks, which would include an alchemy check. So you're going to have disadvantage on this alchemy check. However, you can still add all of your ridiculous Flash of Genius stuff. You still get a plus 11.
Plus 11. Come on, you guys. I rolled a 3 and a 5, so it's a 14. The end of the night really snuck up on Tint.
Wait, 5? Oh, it's disadvantage, so it is the 3.
Disadvantage.
Okay, so 3 plus 11 is 14. Yes. Math. Calculus 2.
Math is hard. We talked about this.
And with a 14, this fertilizer, you recall John back at the cemetery mentioning that it has a very faint magical essence about it, but it's not like giving off a ton of magic. It just has a little bit of latent magic essence in it. You think that this fertilizer is rare?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that would need to be imported, and it is a necessary ingredient in growing different plant life that normally wouldn't survive this climate and stuff like that. So you know how like growing a palm tree in like New York City is like, you can't do that. The climate just wouldn't support it. With this fertilizer, you could. Is one example.
Would this be a common fertilizer used at Gollum University?
No.
And not in their botany department or anything?
It's too expensive.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. What you're looking for, it's hard to say. You think you're looking for a specialty shop kind of thing, like maybe a florist or what are they called, arbories or something like that, where you buy trees and stuff, a nursery, like a tree nursery or something. You'd be looking for something like that, maybe a vegetable producer or a local farm or something that has crazy things that they're growing. Like on the pricier side, high end, rare, exotic, that kind of stuff.
Do I think that someone at Silver Scales would have an idea of maybe not where, like what the soil is, but like, someone that is growing, very rare plants.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely possible.
I think Tint in his exhausted state at like 7 in the morning. Like the sun's coming up, the birds are chirping. He's like, what the heck? Just takes a picture of the dirt with whatever the magic phone is, sends it to whoever his contact at the Silver Scales is. It's just like, know anyone that would need this? And that's it.
Just dirt. A picture of
Amazing.
dirt.
Just dirt. And then
Incredible.
Looking
for
for the supplier.
for the equivalent of a short rest, I think Tint just face down, maybe in the dirt. Like he sends the message. He's like, all right, bedtime. Dunk. Face in dirt.
Amazing. We'll say that while you're sleeping for this short rest, however long it is before you guys decide to all meet up for breakfast before heading to the Phoenix Bank or whatever your next plan of action is, you receive a text back. We're going to say that your contact, obviously you have Belkor as one contact. Do you think that you would have texted Belkor or somebody else in the organization?
No, I'm thinking that Tint's at least been in contact with one other like similar alchemist, because he would have needed help like getting all of his supplies and like
Absolutely,
understanding, you know, just the business side of what he's now doing. So just one of the like more senior artificers that, you know, Tint looks up to, but they're just kind of like, why the fuck did we bring this kid in?
So this would be a half-elf woman named Lavender.
Okay.
Her last name is Essens, Lavender Essence.
Love it.
Yeah. So you would reach out to her, and eventually she would text you back and say, I can reach out to my contacts and see if they need dirt, but I'm a little confused by this prospect so early in the morning. Can you clarify?
So when Tint eventually wakes up, dirt on his face, he just kind of like brushes a bit of it aside. He's going to text back the lab results, which is a bunch of like mumbo jumbo, like pH bound, like even more than that, like just all of these things, and like is like, I think, yeah, it's something like it's really good fertilizer. So like really expensive. College wouldn't be able to afford it. Who could?
A couple of seconds go by before Lavender texts you back and says, I mean, best guess, there is a really fancy florist in the city.
He responds like, send the deets. And at this point, he has picked up his last energy drink and is chugging while like reviewing his notes a little bit.
She will eventually respond with the address and all the important information. Upper West Side, there is a place that's just called the Greenhouse.
Cool.
And they specialize in like super exotic tropical flowers, plants, even like vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah. Tint's gonna load up his new potions, his note sheet from the experiments, probably a baggie of the dirt. Like he's still gonna keep a bit on him. And he's heading out to breakfast, still just trying to chug down this energy drink.
Amazing. Is there a sort of vibe for breakfast that you have all agreed upon for meeting up in the morning?
Yeah, I guess I text everybody as like the first one up. Hey,
You text before Tint wakes up. Or before Tint goes to sleep.
Tint's nap, his dirt nap.
His dirt nap.
But what would be the closest to all of us? Would that be in
Great question.
Gnomewich or Wrong Village or something?
Honestly, the Gastrognome is probably the easiest place to head to.
The Gastronome.
The 24-hour diner. The Chronomancy district has the Elgato Bodega, but that's slightly they have a couple tables and seats and stuff like that. They're usually taken up by older people who live in the neighborhood and are like playing dominoes and stuff like that. But if you're lucky, you could find a table with some chairs. Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say probably your easiest locations, Gastronome or the Elgato Bodega.
Gastronome's in where?
Gnomewich.
Gnomewich?
Yeah,
I can go to Gnomewich. Yeah.
All right.
Gnomewich?
Yeah.
Which show?
amazing.
Also, can I roll to see how many vehicles I have?
Of course you can. Let's
Because I know
roll
I would definitely have a minivan,
naturally.
but I
Parked
don't know
out
if I
front.
have like the classic, like muscle car or a motorcycle or.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, go ahead and roll. What do we think is fair? D6?
Sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, let's roll a D6.
Is this one of those where like your garage lifts up and like it's the underneath?
The bag.
It's got
Yeah,
like
it's definitely
York
this-
style. All
The
right.
garages are across the street. 5.
5. You have 5 vehicles.
So I just got a text. Do you guys need me to pick you up, or we take one vehicle to drive across town in?
I would say, yeah, that, I mean,
Sure.
make it easier for all of us to travel.
Gotcha.
It definitely sends you his Gamescape address. He's like, pull up.
Even though you're the closest to the restaurant, you need to be picked up.
Listen,
That's so funny.
Tint's mind is not here today.
Gotcha. So yeah, John will get the keys to his Minotaur Charger, we'll call it, and his coupe muscle car, and we'll grab the keys to that. And once Ray is gone, he goes, lavers up the face, shaves the mustache, opens the secret compartment to where the firearms are kept, and he opens a latch that goes even further and pulls out a briefcase, and he opens it up, and there is an all black suit, vest, tie, dress shoes, just completely blacked out, and then whatever currency is used in the world of assassins. He takes some of that, puts it in his pocket, dresses up. He is now clean shaven in an all black suit, puts the gun in his back pocket, in the back of his, in the back holster, and vroom vroom.
Amazing.
And I
as you
sent
guys, go for
that
it.
Hero Forge to everyone.
Yes. Incredible.
So cool.
Incredible character. And so as you are all picked up at your individual locations in this incredible Sphinx City version of a Charger, this Minotaur Charger, as you see John, mustache-less, black suit, looking ready for business. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after these short messages.
From our sponsor?
From our sponsor, which I will
Don't
tell you all about
do it.
as soon as we get back. I can't wait to tell you about our special sponsor. See you soon.
Goodbye.
I have DM dysfunction. I have DM dysfunction.
I have DM dysfunction.
A recent study published by the Bardic College of Lore claims that 69% of dungeon masters suffer from DM dysfunction, or DMD. This condition has more facets than your favorite polyhedral. Some have reported burnout, writer's block, issues with balance, or inner party problems. At So You Want to Be a DM, it's our mission to not only fight the monster-like symptoms of DM dysfunction, but to treat the very cause of it. To do this, we implement auditory technology in the form of the podcast So You Want to Be a Dungeon Master. By listening to the tips and tricks provided by Justin and Taylor, DM dysfunction can become a thing of the past.
I've been a listener of the podcast for over 4 months now, and I don't have to worry about DM dysfunction anymore. And I just DM'd my first homebrew world, and I didn't have to worry about DM dysfunction.
With all the So You Want to Be a Dungeon Master content that I consume, I'll never have to worry about DM dysfunction ever again.
And neither will you. Check out So You Want to Be a Dungeon Master.
You can talk to your doctor today, or you can find So You Want to Be a Dungeon Master anywhere you find podcasts. Listening to too many episodes in a row can cause excessive imagination, lucid dreaming, lactose intolerance, and character death. Sorry, not death. Character depth.
And remember, you don't want DMD, you want D&D.
And we're back, gang. And the gang's all here. Last we left off, our heroes split off in their separate ways after their fight in the cemetery to get back home and yell at some skateboarders and take a beautiful bubble bath with their wife and learn a little bit about the video game that their son is playing and prepare an incredible lunch for the next day and stay up all night doing alchemy. It is now the next morning. Everybody, with the exception of Tint, has had a long rest, recharged, hit points, spell slots. Everything goes back to full. How lovely. Tint, amazing. Not so much.
Just a clarifying question is it reduced plus the level up HP, or is it at that reduced?
Oh, interesting. We can do, interesting. let's say that it's reduced plus the level up. Like you
Cool.
have your level 8 stuff
me.
and then reduced.
Cool. Awesome.
Just to keep it simple.
Carry on.
So still very much level 8. But you've all been picked
10?
up. Never level 10. At this rate, never level 10.
Just because I keep asking.
You all have been picked up
Go
at your
9 to
respective
11.
places. Going straight to 11. You've all been picked up by John in his muscle car and make your way to Gnomewitch Village. Just for fun, because you're in such a big city. John, just go ahead and roll a d20. We're gonna call it a luck check to find parking. Just for fun. This has no bearing on anything.
Wild.
Oh, Dickens. That's a 6.
A 6. Couple block. You're like circling around. You're like trying to find a spot that's not too far away, but like also get like good street parking. Eventually you find something as like somebody's leaving their spot. There's like 1 or 2 times where you like enter into the perfect spot and then you read the sign and it's like, you can only park here between this time and this time on this day, and then on this
when
day
the moon is
no
full.
parking ever. And it's like, god damn it, you have to
not this
leave
Tuesday,
and-
next Tuesday.
But finally
Only
you find
on-
a spot.
Son of a bitch. Been around this block
Tint's
8
asleep in the
times.
back seat.
Amazing. But eventually you all make your way to Gastrognome. You enter inside, again, very nostalgic, sort of Americana vibe diner. Lots of chrome. There's lots of like, on the outside at least, there's like neon pink and blue lights. You see that all of the servers are wearing like light pink, like a pastel pink color uniforms. There's a treant in the back who's cooking. Every once in a while you see a puff of white fire extinguisher like smoke come out of the back as the person made of wood and leaves accidentally catches themselves on fire as they're the head chef. And,
of course.
And you see once again Rose, for Tint at least, a familiar face.
Hey, Rose.
Hey, darling, how you doing? You're back already? Another usual or
Oh, yeah. Make it a double.
double? All right, double breakfast burger coming up. No problem. You and your friends, you guys want a table? You want a booth? Sit at the
Guys.
counter. What are you guys looking for?
Yeah, let's get a booth.
Yeah.
Booth it is. All right, follow me. She grabs a couple menus and begins walking you guys through the restaurant, eventually leading you to a booth with like kind of that plasticky sort of covering on the table and those like paper mats that have like businesses and sponsorships all over them and stuff like that.
What sponsorships?
Mm.
Let me go down my list.
Mm.
Let me go down my list. So there's the Good Luck Escape Room.
Ah,
There is the Dual Meaning, which is a sword fighting class.
So I get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
You
Is the greenhouse on there?
Yes. Let's say the greenhouse does have an ad on the little paper mat at the diner that you guys have stopped to for breakfast. Yes, let's say
It's
that
one
that
of
is a
those
thing.
that, like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, I'm not that rich.
Yeah, it's
Vastly
bougie.
different tax brackets,
It's
but
bougie. The font, everything is crazy. You also see a ad for Psychic Cycle, which is a 50% seance, 50% cycle class. There's an ad for Hell's Kitchen, which is a really kitschy devil themed restaurant. There's also
have to wear 37 pieces of
Yeah.
flair. Like it's very
kitschy. All the servers
Yeah.
wear like fake devil horns and like have like the elastic band with like a foam tail attached.
what's
and
the
they're
temperature in that building?
normal. They don't go that far with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be enjoyable.
I would just
for
drive
people who
away
aren't from
customers.
yeah, just a normal temperature. You do see the largest ad on the entire mat is for the Olive Yard, a huge chain restaurant, very popular in Sphinx Square for the tourists. It's like a giant picture of like breadsticks coming out of a basket, and it just says the Olive Yard. When you're here, your acquaintances. And then I don't know. I have a million places that could be on this fucking thing. There's literally so many. I'll do one more just for posterity's sake. We'll say that there is an ad for there's a sex museum in Bard's Way.
Of
Okay.
course.
Okay.
Checks out.
It tracks.
Yeah. Imagine my surprise when players in a home game asked if there was a sex museum, and I had to on the spot Google what exhibits are in a sex museum. And the gift shop is crazy. Nobody asks for a cock ring of Revivify until they need it. Diamond encrusted, baby.
Hey, when in Sphinx City.
Anyway. You see all of these different ads and stuff. Rose comes by. She's got her little notepad and a tiny little pencil, and she goes, all right, so I got one double breakfast burger. What do you gentlemen want? And you guys, again, have these massive menus, laminated sheets. It's like Cheesecake Factory on crack, like just pages and pages of different types of cuisines. Like some things that just because it's a diner, it's easy to immediately be like, well, I'm not ordering the lobster, but they have it.
Right.
They have everything.
Yeah. I'll get a black coffee and a patty melt.
All right, patty melt. Yeah, you got it. Black coffee, easy peasy.
I'm gonna do a big stack of waffles, lots of butter, lots of syrup, and a side of bacon, and also a coffee.
Coffee, waffles, bacon. Got it. What about you, hon?
I'm looking at the menu. Do you guys have like breakfast bowls? Like it's got like the hash browns, potatoes,
It's page
eggs.
5. Page 5, right underneath.
Ah,
the
there
breakfast
they are.
smoothies.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have the Number 5.5, the hash browns mixed in with the poached egg and sausage, please.
You got it. All right. 5.5 poached eggs. Got it. Okay, brilliant. I'll be right back. And she goes back and starts yelling different like code words to the chef that all of these foods stand for, which we're not gonna get into. I had to do that last time.
Do you remember the one for the? Do you remember the one for my usual?
Cow over the moon or cow over the sun because it was breakfast and it's a beef. Yeah, something like that.
That's good.
But it would be 2 cows because it's double. And relatively quickly, all of your food is brought. A huge carafe full of coffee and like mugs are given to everybody. A small dish full of like little butter things, and like there's already on the table bottles of syrup and stuff like that. And everything is delicious. It's hot. It's exactly as you ordered it. This place is pretty good. It's not fancy, but it's good food.
Oh yeah, love waffles.
While we're chatting up to start things off, before I'm gonna send a text message to Briar Darkclaw and just ask, emergency, can we meet your place or the hotel? ?
You get a text back relatively quickly from Briar that says, I'm working the desk at the hotel. Meet me there.
All right. So, where are you all looking to go today?
Well, I mean, definitely need to go by the bank and check out the security deposit box. I think that should be priority number 1. But other than that, I mean, what other connections do we have with people that we've already gone against, as far as like, you know, that whole plot with the changing everybody into animals? Like, how does this connect to that? Is kind of what I'm thinking of, trying to think about, because they have a level of influence that basically suggests that they probably all have to be super connected. And if they're all super connected, they're probably connected to each other.
Yeah. That's good logic.
At least on my end, we can try looking towards the assassin angles. I have some contacts in that past world. We can try to search around there, see if someone's hiring for this, or figure out who sent them on our track in the first place. I have a place that we can go to try to get some answers, or at least get pointed in the right direction of who their collaborators might be. But just know that going there is a gamble, and we're dealing with very dangerous people.
Am I old enough to gamble? Yeah, I'm fine.
You're good? Okay. You're looking a little rough, buddy. You good?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. I had a great night. I don't know about you guys. I made a couple of really cool potions. Ectoplasm, incredible. Okay, and I didn't burn myself with it, so we're doing great. But I did find that the soil that the bodies came from probably comes from the greenhouse, or they would know where to get it. And I am curious, with your mention of the zoo, would the zoo need exotic plants for these new exhibits with the animals that were once people, and thus would be connected to whoever's getting this really good dirt? Also, is anyone else finding this dirt in their food? Because I feel like it's just everywhere.
Because it's on your...
Yeah, you got a little...
right here. Yeah, maybe go run to the... maybe go run to the bathroom real quick.
It's weird. I mean, I showered at the lab. When Tin says he showered, he... That's his version of a shower. He might smell a little bit like Axe body spray.
Incredible.
Yeah, so that could be a lead.
Okay, yeah. That's
I
definitely
also
something we should look into.
texted to point at the butcher, one of our contacts about where potentially we could get this dirt. But that's what she said. It's the greenhouse. So
Okay.
yeah.
Where's the greenhouse supposed to be at?
I point at the address on the table.
It's one of the ads on the little paper mat. It's in
Upper West Side.
Upper West Side.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that's where I have to go for my contact. So,
Perfect.
Okay.
We're getting the
Maybe-
dirt and the dirt.
Yeah.
yeah. So, that's where both of our contacts will be. But
Okay.
the one that's near, where's the bank again?
The main branch, which is you would know you'd have to go to the main branch for this particular
Can't just go to an ATM.
thing.
Please give us all the secrets. Open sesame.
The
Didn't types in
magic.
boobies.
Beep, beep. Oh, it opened.
That's the
Wild.
keyword.
Bear with me.
It's this world's password. Password is password. This world, it's boobies.
But in numbers.
Classic.
It is the main
Upside down.
branch of the Phoenix Bank is in the Upper East Side.
Okay.
Wow.
We're pretty close.
Okay. Close.
All right.
Not really. There's a park in between them.
True. But
Close. Close
relatively
enough.
close compared to the whole city.
So I
Yes.
guess the only warning I'd give is that if we're going in there and we're going to impersonate the Banshee,
Mhm.
we have to remember that if something goes awry, we may burn this bridge of being able to get whatever's in that box.
We can probably still get in the box. This is just going to be easier.
Fair enough. But yeah, so you all think that should be our first
Yeah.
stone?
Yeah, let's go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I have a spell, Alter Self. I can completely change my appearance, and it's not going to be like disguise. It's not going to be like what's the other spell where it makes like a little visage. This one you can't poke through the illusion.
Okay.
It'll actually physically change my appearance. Is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Can I ask the waitress for like a doggy bag and kind of flavor that as my cooked treats?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Nice.
Or we could say that it was part of your long rest. If you
Okay.
want to like actually have made something like little snacks as part of your chef feat.
Yeah.
The like maybe you did it last night or maybe you did it this morning or whatever it may be. So describe to us what Belkor has fixed for the group.
Okay, so bear with me on this. What if we put meatloaf on mini bagels?
I love
So you
it.
could have meatloaf anytime. For the morning, for the evening, for supper time.
Genius.
Incredible.
I will sing that entire theme song, but
Hilarious.
copyright reasons I can't. Oh.
Hilarious. I love that so much.
So funny.
Meatloaf bites.
Wow. Incredible. Yeah, you show off your latest innovation on an old classic, portable meatloaf. What an idea. And remind us what that does mechanically.
So it depends. If I do the long rest one, which is cook treats, for 1 hour of work, when you finish a long rest, you can cook 3 treats. These treats last 8 hours after being made. A creature can use the bonus action to eat one of these treats to gain 3 temporary hit points. Or I can do the special food, which is as part of a short rest. You can cook special food for 7 creatures. At the end of a short rest, any creature who eats the food spends 1 or more hit dice to regain points. Regains an extra D8 of hit points.
Incredible. Okay, cool. I think what we have agreed upon, if I remember, this is going back to season 1, so obviously it's been like 6 months, but I think I think originally 3 people made sense in the first season because there were 3 of you and it was like easy peasy. I don't want to count anybody out, and it would only add 1 more person, and it's not that many hit points, so it's like kind of like that's fine.
Yeah,
So
3.
if you want to just up it to 4 instead of 3 people,
Okay.
you can make one for all 4 of you.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I mean it lasts for 8 hours, but you guys, if you wanted to, you could all have a meatloaf bite and get 3 temporary hit points.
It's like pre-adventure shots, but it's a meatloaf bite.
Oh.
Like, cheers.
Free meal.
Thanks.
It's the best
many hit
meatloaf
points?
you guys have ever had. It's moist, it's flavorful, it has herbs and spices and like a little bit of a glaze on it. Incredible. Absolutely.
It feels
incredible.
alive for a slight moment.
And so you guys eventually finish your food, get things to go if you haven't finished your meals, and pay your tab. And as you guys are leaving, you have to walk a little bit down the block to get back to the parking spot that John was able to find. And you guys begin heading northwards towards the Upper East Side, heading to Phoenix Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible. You see a rather large building, mostly made of like stone. There are some columns and steps to get up into it. You see the inside, there's like lots of large glass windows along the front facing side of the building. And it has one of those antechambers, I think is the word that I'm looking for. Like, you know, where you enter through the front door and then there's like a little mini thing, and
It's
then
a
there's
vestibule.
another door.
Hmm.
Vestibule. Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And so you enter into the vestibule. And as you see into this bank, or rather, John, obviously you have the opportunity to cast Alter Self at some point between now and then. You're not necessarily entering as John unless that's your plan.
No, I am.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, while we're driving, I will cast the spell.
While you're driving,
Incredible.
you
His
cast while
eyes are going
driving.
like up every moving around.
Yeah, it looks like something like it'd be like a camera trick of like some kids in another car. They're looking up, they look away, and they look back, and it's just completely different driver.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And so as you continue into the bank, you see that this bank is very large. It has huge ceilings, probably like 20-foot ceilings. There are like all of the tellers across one wall, with like, you know, a wrapping around kind of queue line for people who need to talk to a bank teller, something like that. There's a couple of cubicles for talking to account managers, for opening up an account or moving your money around or whatever that may be. There's like one office off to the side that looks kind of like a conference room vibes. It's a little bit of a bigger office with a long table and like a projector and different things. Then you see the bank manager's office in the far corner. And then straight ahead towards the back, you would see the locked like security door that Jaster, you would be familiar with. This security door leads to the security deposit room. In the security deposit room is a massive vault door. And that obviously would lead to the basement and where the Phoenix once was. You would also see that there are two like decorations, kind of like two massive statues near the front doors that almost look like they're made of money. Like they're almost forming, they kind of have the vibe of like the Statue of Liberty a little bit. They have like sort of femme presenting appearances, kind of. There's no like descript facial features or anything. It's just kind of like a stone face, but it has like money printed on it as if it's like made to look like it's made out of dollar bills, like almost origami style kind of. And it has like a crown that has these like sharp spires, But instead of holding a book and a torch like the actual Statue of Liberty, instead they have a shield and a sword. And the shield and sword are made of like coins, essentially, like pennies, nickels, and dimes, all like sort of melted together to form these shapes. And there's just two of those identical to one another on either side of the front doors. And so as you guys enter in, what would you like to do?
So one thing I will say I've changed about the appearance is that took my tie off, unbuttoned like a few buttons, a little bit of cleavage showing to fit more of the Banshee's style. And then specifically also in my change appearance, I make it look as if I have a fresh scar around my neck, as if somebody like tried to cut my throat. And then I guess I'll go to the front desk teller.
Amazing.
And just
Are we walking up with guys?
Yes. Yeah. And try to look like intimidating if you can. Just kind of look like you're. Yeah.
Tint takes out his club, which is one of those old magnifying glasses or magnifiers, like the giant ones.
Hold on, no weapons. We're in the bank. Just
Oh shit. He pretends to use it.
I walk up to the teller and go,
Puts it away.
I need to check on some things, darling. And I snap my fingers as in to like, present the key.
Oh.
Belkor hands you the key. You see behind the front desk is a turtle individual. Looks probably like in their mid-30s, give or take. Big shell on the back. Kind of looks like one of those sort of like a river turtle. I wish I knew the super specific name, but one of those ones that has like an incredibly long neck. You know what I'm talking about? Like lives underwater most of its life and has like an insanely long neck and almost like a pig nose, kind of. One of those kind of turtles. Sees you at the front and goes,
"Oh, yes, ma'am, I absolutely can help you with that. It appears that you are trying to access your safety deposit box. Is that correct?"
Yes.
Incredible. I see you already have the key. That's good. I do need another form of ID, just to corroborate your identity so that I can match things up on our end and get you into there so you can get your stuff.
And I lean in very closely and just go, "Can I ask you a question?"
Oh,
they're not wearing glasses.
Of course. Yeah, sure.
You know who I am, right?
Well, I
see me around.
I've seen you in here. Yes, of course.
So then you should know better than to waste my fucking time.
Sorry, Justin can't handle this scene. Make a, I suppose, intimidation check. You can make an argument for a different one, but it feels like
intimidation's fine by me.
Yeah, it felt like that was what you were going for.
A 23.
Incredible.
Get fucked.
He goes,
"Oh, well, I meant no offense, of course. I'm just trying to follow the protocol, the SOP, as it were, the standard operating procedure. But of course, I can certainly help you out. Follow me, ma'am."
Thank you, darling.
And he excuses himself and kind of has to walk around the long wooden glass windows and stuff like that of the teller desks, and eventually makes his way out to the actual like floor of the bank and says,
just right this way, miss,"
and brings you into this towards the back of the bank. You see that there's like some kind of code system that's required. He pulls out like a very specific scanner card and like scans it and punches a couple numbers in, and that first door opens. It just kind of, other than the security measure, it kind of just looks like a normal sized door. Opens that up, and that lets you into a rather small room, probably like 10 by 10 or something like that, where the two sides of the walls are covered in security deposit boxes all over them. And then the back of this extra room has just a absolutely massive vault door. And so lets you into there and says, well, I have the bank's key. If you could just present your key, and then we'll just unlock this together, and I'll leave you to it.
Go on, unlock the door for me.
Oh,
kind of met gestures at Belkor, just playing up to like, I don't do anything by myself. You have to do everything for me.
Okay. So we just put it in and turn. Okay. And that's all unlocked. And it has like a little mini door. Once the two keys are turned, the mini door sort of, you can see, unlocks, and it doesn't open on its own, but it kind of just unlatches. He takes out his key, puts it back in his pocket, and says, well, you have as much time as you need in here, and once everything's all set up, you are good to go. Okay. Have a pleasant day. Thank you for banking with us, as usual.
Thank you, darling.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well,
I won't forget this.
Oh. All right.
He sort of fiddles around a little bit, looking extremely like nervous and sort of just like flustered and smitten. And he heads out, closing the door behind you. You hear the door sort of lock from the outside, although you would be able to open it from the inside, of course.
All right, guys.
What I
Let's
will
see what's
say,
going on.
what I will say, and Jaster can corroborate this, there is a security camera in here.
Yes.
It's not like in hiding. It's not hiding
There's
or
a camera
anything.
there.
You see a
and then there's
camera.
one right there. This is like they're all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple hidden in some of these vaults.
And just remember, your faces are all on camera.
Oh, that's great.
Oh boy.
Told you, I've been in here before.
So yeah, we'll go to see what's inside of this safety deposit box.
Should ask that guy out. He's dead anyway.
Amazing. Who is opening who's actually pulling out the security deposit box?
I mean, I guess if I open it, I might as well do this. Oh, okay.
No, not Tint.
Oh.
Might not be able to reach.
Oh.
Yeah, Tint and I are both a little vertically challenged.
Yeah, I guess since I opened it, I guess I'll pull it out.
Incredible. As soon as you open it up, Belkor, you pull it out, and as soon as you pull it all the way out, a spell shoots into your face.
No! Oh!
But luckily, Dispel Magic doesn't do anything to you because you don't have a spell cast on you in this moment. So you're fine. And John Smith's Alter Self spell maintains because he didn't open it.
Oh my goodness.
What a good call there, John.
Yeah, that was totally on purpose.
He's like, I've been in this situation before.
So,
You think we can stop at like a hot dog stand after this?
Sure.
But what about the meatloaf bite?
I already ate that.
inside of this security deposit
metabolism of
box,
youth.
there's a little tiny table in there for you to like actually set the thing and pull your stuff out and stuff. And as you put the security deposit box on the little table and start rifling inside, you do see the remnants of a spell trap, which was the Dispel Magic. That way, if anybody used some sort of illusion magic to make themselves seem like this person, that they would instantly be caught. Unfortunately, it does depend on the person with the spell opening the box. Oh well.
Always bring an entourage.
Thwarted again. Inside
Started by
this,
great roleplay.
yeah. Inside this box, again, we're playing fast and loose with like money, but we'll say you find a ton of money in here.
Okay.
But also, you end up finding a couple of things. One of the things you find is a revolver, like a 6-shot revolver, in there with a case of bullets. It has a couple of engravings on the actual, what is this? The revolver guy?
Revolver,
What is this part of the revolver
cylinder.
called?
The cylinder.
Cylinder.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Oh, the barrel.
This part that moves, that you pop out
That's-
and pop the bullets into.
The cylinder.
Yeah, we're all saying the same thing.
Done.
The cylinder. It's got some crazy engravings on it and stuff like that. And if you open up the case full of bullets, you see that there's only 12 bullets, but in pairs of 2, they're colored differently, almost like shades of the rainbow, kind of. Like there's 2 blue bullets, 2 red bullets, 2 yellow bullets, like so on and so forth. And so there's that. You also find 2 very different looking grenades. One of which looks like it's almost constructed of like, it's like a gold and brass cage, and on the inside is a glass inner chamber full of a golden liquid that gives off a faint glow. And so when you throw the grenade, the glass shatters. It's like set up that way. So you're not thinking, without like using any magic or investigation or anything, you don't think that this is necessarily like a frag grenade or something like that. This is clearly something magical is sort of going on here. The second grenade that you find, I'm going to say Jaster and John, for totally different reasons. John, can I have you make a history check? Jaster, can you make a Tinker Tools check?
Yeah.
Not great. Only an 8.
An 8. Yeah, without either showing this to like one of your contacts or something like that, it's not a device. Maybe this is just a device that you didn't use often in your work. And so it's kind of eluding you at this moment.
I got a 23.
23. Jaster, this is an EMP.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can short out all electronics within like
It's not that powerful of an EMP. So before you say a range, what I was
Like in this room.
yeah.
it's like the actual
In all
EMP
of Sphinx
itself.
City.
Yeah, no, it
Shut down the
only-
whole goddamn grid with this thing.
It only has like a 10-20 foot radius
Okay.
of effect, but you could throw it like 30 feet.
Right. Yeah. So
and
it's
then
like
it would-
it's a grenade
Yeah,
that can
it's like a small scale EMP.
gotcha.
And then
across any evil robots. This is
And
the
then just to
move.
keep things simple, I'll even say that you kind of can figure out what the other grenade is.
Okay.
It's a healing grenade.
Oh, nice. That's very handy.
Yeah, 5 foot radius. Everybody essentially in that 5 foot radius who gets hit with it, common healing potion. Just boom.
Nice.
2 grenades, one or like an EMP and a healing grenade. This revolver with these strange bullets. And then the final piece in there, you see a small piece of origami in the shape of a unicorn placed in the box. Does anybody unfold the piece of origami or do anything with the unicorn?
I think we should take it, but probably investigate it out of here.
Can I roll just a quick arcana on it just to make sure like we can take it and nothing's gonna happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I've got Arcana 16. I'm a grandmother.
16. It's not magical at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Guys, this is not magical. It just is there writing on it that I can
for
see?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe John, just, if you could I just don't want your disguise falling when we're like,
All right. I'll take a couple sips.
So yeah, and then it's gonna like holding it out slowly, super slowly, unfold it.
Tint, as you slowly unfold this piece of origami, nothing happens, and it just becomes a normal piece of paper with an advertisement on it.
I imagine like every time Tint like undoes one fold, everyone's like,
Oh.
An advertisement for what?
An
Pink Pony
upcoming
Club?
festival.
Damn.
This weekend in Midling Park is the Feywild Festival, or the Little Feywild Festival, full of shows and food and vendors and shops. There's games, there's rides. This, John, is the same festival that your son was talking about.
Oh, great.
And
family fun time.
the yeah, that's what it is.
All right. So, do you guys like festivals?
Oh yeah, like a lot of food.
Oh yeah.
I've catered a couple times over the past couple years.
Oh, I always seek out your booth.
All right.
Now I remember you.
Is
Listen,
there
you
anything?
can't do a day full of festivals without meatloaf.
Am I right?
I think I'll take the revolver and put it in my ankle holster,
Amazing.
and I'll keep.
Are you loading it with bullets, or
Are there enough to load in there?
there's 12?
Okay, yeah. Then
2
I'll
blue
load.
ones, two red, like different colors.
Well, yeah, I'll do one of each. Put them in the cylinder, and then put it in my ankle. Yeah, in the ankle spot right there, and then put the rest in my pocket. The rest of the bullets in my pocket,
Dope,
and
dope,
then
dope.
John,
I guess
how many
I'll
guns
just-
do you have on you?
oh, just one. I'm working light today. Well, now two. And I'll just do one last investigation check, just to see if there's any other like hidden compartments or anything like that we might have missed.
Yeah, you comb over the stuff and everything. There isn't any secret compartments or anything like that. I'll say go ahead and make an investigation check though.
Hadouken. That's a nat one.
Nat 1.
Looks
Don't
like a
find-
box. Yeah.
Don't find any secret compartments or anything.
Yeah. Nothing out of the ordinary here. All right. I
Makes
think
sense.
we've overstayed our time here.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, let's head on out and go see your contact.
I'll put
Yeah.
the box back in the deposit locker.
Absolutely. I'll just, as a reminder, Jaster and Belkor, you do both, as Jaster, what you were mentioning before, trying to figure out the connection between the plot that you guys have uncovered and thwarted before and its potential connection to now. I will remind you that that a couple of things. Number one, you guys, with the help of Ghost, have 2 crooked cops
That's
on
right.
ice. You have Detective
right.
Adams and Detective Jefferson literally on ice.
Mm-hmm.
You also know that Excelsior was bought by Mr. Mott, the CEO of Mothman LLC. And the dissolving or moving around of finances, however it works, Romance Realtors doesn't exist anymore. But just like billionaires, hard to kill, you're not really sure where that entity exists now. They could have just changed names and changed owners. Like, who knows
Right.
what they are now.
Okay. I might need to make a visit to Emmis.
Possibility.
Maybe not tonight, but
Yeah, no doubt. Incredible. So you guys put the security deposit back. Are you, other than the gun and the bullets, are you taking the other stuff out? Are you taking the, now it's all unfolded. Good luck putting it back into a unicorn shape. But,
Yeah, we're taking everything, the money.
Yeah, these are
everything.
ours
everything.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is ours
Well,
now.
just checking.
Hey,
Okay.
I go, hey, Twofer, come here real quick. And I open up its little back hatch and just kind of take the box and shake it in there.
Put all the other stuff in there.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Incredible. In our Discord, Daniel, I've put the 6 bullets by color.
Ooh.
1 through 6, the different colors that are available and stuff like that.
Fancy.
If you use that gun, for every attack that you do, I need you to roll a d6 and see which color you get, because they have different damage types.
Awesome. So, and
then
for
like
flavor,
if you use, let's say you use number 1, which is green, you kind of like the next time you make an attack, you can't roll green again because obviously you use that bullet. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
you would re-roll ones after that point.
and then can I still kind of flavor it the same way as like with my wand pistol, where I can just use True Strike to fire the bullets?
Yeah, I mean it's a normal gun. Let me see. Actually,
So I don't know
you're
how
a
that would
sorcerer, correct? So like,
work. Yeah. So I use
Weapon-
my charisma for everything.
gotcha.
So
So
I
like,
don't actually have weapon proficiencies.
I have
gotcha.
Jeez.
Gotcha.
I mean, hey, if you want it, you can have
It
it.
is a firearm. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
like a gun.
Right.
Justin,
Gun,
you
gun.
look like a trustworthy guy here. Hold on to these.
I mean, I'm a decent shot. I'll
That's
take it
all
and
you.
tuck it behind my waist there.
I use
Amazing.
specialty weapons.
Incredible.
Fair enough.
So cool.
Sweet. I have a gun. Make a note of that.
Good.
Got a motherfucking gun.
A revolver with
Let's
multicolored
start
bullets
blasting.
that do different damage
the-
types.
You got the full John Wick experience. Blast them and then start beating ass. You ever shot a man and then hit him with a flurry of blows?
Just counterspell him in the throat. Craziness. We're leaving the bank. You guys have successfully infiltrated and did not manage to set off any alarms, which would have been a very impromptu combat scene. As
taken
you
them?
guys leave the bank, taking a last minute glance at these massive statues made of money. Why are they carrying short swords and shields? I don't know.
Yeah.
Head out. And where are you guys heading next?
To
A
the
hotel?
hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hotel. You guys go a little bit across town, head over to the Upper West Side, and head into a 100-story tall hotel. The Interconfidential Hotel. As you guys enter in, there's like a beautiful patio, like kind of situation in the front of the actual building, like just potted plants, like or even like potted trees, a couple steps into the actual building itself. Incredible circulating revolving doors. The lobby is spacious. It has high ceilings. There's a lot of velvet on the couches and stuff. There's like beautiful water features. You see off to one side like a bar that's actually set up that has like an incredible bottle service thing kind of behind it with bartenders and stuff. But then you see the concierge desk. And John, that's where you see Briar Darkclaw behind the desk. She is probably in her like probably like in her early 30s. She is a shifter, which is a ancestry in D&D. So like she has sort of feline features, but kind of slightly closer to human than tabaxi. So she just has like a little bit of fur at the ends of her ears and stuff like that, like little tiny things. But you would know, based on your connection with her and or just familiarity in general, that when it's like go time, she can fully shift, and then she'll become that much more feline, where she can like leap farther, she can run faster, she can do all this, she can even like sprout claws, and it's incredible. But she is currently like has her hair pulled back like incredibly tight into a low ponytail that's kind of going down her back, and she's wearing a really smart looking blazer. Kind of, it's obviously like her work uniform sort of, so it's really just blacks and whites. She has a collarless white button down shirt in the front with like a black blazer over top of it, and she is just patiently standing at the front desk.
Hello, Briar. Long time no see.
John, it's a pleasure. How are you doing?
Retirement's kicking my ass.
I believe it. I told you it would.
Listen, I'm not working again. I got something personal I'm trying to sort out. And, they managed to find me.
Really? Interesting.
Old crew, too. Banshee and all of them.
Really? The royal flush, as it were.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought that most of them died.
They did. Then they came back. And then they died again.
Oh, that's some necromancy bullshit. I don't fuck with that. You know me. I go low magic.
Exactly.
Well, that's gonna happen from time to time. But I'm sorry to hear that they found you, sort of messing up your retirement. Tell me, these people with you trust them?
Yeah.
Kind of looks past you, looks at the others.
Yeah, they're part of my pottery class.
She just kind of gives you all like a solemn nod. John, you would know Briar is borderline a computer. Like, just has, similar to you, was raised by a assassin organization from like 9 years old. Like, orphaned. Her entire family was killed by a rival thing. She was raised to do this and is like lost aspects of her humanity, if you will. And so she is like so business oriented in that regard. And so she looks at them. You guys all wave to her. She just kind of goes.
But
So what can I do for you, John?
Yeah. 2 things. 1, I need information. 2, I actually want to hire a couple of people, possibly you.
Interesting. I'm quite expensive these days. I've sort of moved up in the echelon of our business, but everything comes with a price, John.
Yeah.
You know the deal.
I need to figure out who Banshee was working with, or if I can get pointed in that same direction. Also, and I pull out the money that we got from the safety deposit box. Their families. I need somebody watching them for the weekend while we're away. We can't be protecting their families, so.
Got it. All right. Well, I can certainly help you out. That's no problem at all. We go way back. One of my closest friends. Anyway, let's get down to brass tacks. Do you have what I need? And you know that she's referring to that, like, special currency that you snagged out of your briefcase.
Yeah,
like when you
I
got
pull
your whole
out
getup
this
together.
separate coin purse, and it's a whole bunch of very old coins made out of electrum, which is like a defunct currency now. So no one uses it except people who are part of the ancient ways and traditions.
Incredible. You plop down a coin or two, or whatever the agreed upon price of this type of a transaction is, and she reaches across, slides it across the table, and sort of checks it out ever so briefly. She trusts you, obviously, but just old habits die hard. Puts it in her pocket and goes, all right, well, I can have my team monitoring their locations. If you can just give me their addresses, we're good to go. And then in terms of information on the Banshee and who hired her, that'll just take me a couple phone calls if you have time.
Sounds good. How far away is that place in
The greenhouse?
yeah, from here? I don't know if you wanted to swing by there while we're waiting for Bar to make those calls.
That's one thing we can do. I was going to suggest we pay whatever it is, like the 10 gold pieces to use the pool for the day. This is one of those type of hotels.
It's
But no, we
not
can
exactly,
do the
no.
work.
It's
Not
super
exactly
not
the
that
same
kind of
currency.
hotel. Couldn't be
Oh,
further from
okay.
that.
Or no?
No, you're looking for Howard Johnson. I don't think Howard Johnson even is open anymore. I think they went
Oh.
bankrupt.
Have you guys thought about your business model then?
Yeah, we're doing fine.
Okay. Then maybe we'll just go check out the greenhouse.
That sounds like a good idea. I can give you a call.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
John, just give me those addresses. I'll make sure my people are on that. And as for the information on the Banshee, I'll just shoot you a text
Thanks, Bar. Appreciate it.
anytime. Well, as long as you have more of these.
Yeah,
It
that's
holds
true.
up the Electrum. Incredible. And as you guys walk out of this incredibly fancy looking hotel, you do notice, for John, this is nothing. You do notice that you didn't see anybody other than Briar and like the bartender. Nobody was coming in or out at that moment that you were there. Granted, it is early in the morning, so maybe that's part of it or something, but it does seem like a empty hotel. Like you're just not, it's 10 stories tall, over 100 feet. Like it's a huge building, and you didn't see a single person in line checking out. Very interesting. Just like a small side note that you maybe would have been like, huh, there's not a single person checking out. Like weird. But you guys leave
Let's have a
there.
late checkout policy.
As you leave the Interconfidential and begin making your way over towards the greenhouse, what you see is a standalone building, brick and mortar, rather small building itself. The actual like florist's shop. It's got a beautiful brick face. It looks like old building that's been here for some time. The signage is incredibly bougie. It has like lots of gold leaf in it and just a beautiful signage. And as soon as you just looking through the windows, you can see that the plants and flowers that are on display here look like things you've never seen before. Just like the most extravagant looking, like using some real plants as examples, like just like birds of paradise flowers or something like that. You see like a very interesting looking large Venus flytrap, but like the head of the Venus flytrap is like the size of your hands, like just much larger than it should be or that you're used to seeing. You see like some really interesting produce that's even available that looks like out of this world, like just stuff that you've never seen before. Belkor, make a nature check with advantage because you're a chef.
Ooh, I love that advantage because it's a nat 20.
Hell yeah. You recognize some of these plants. You would agree that they are exceedingly rare. They are incredibly like tropical. They are very temperamental in their growing process. Like you're seeing a lot of they have like bitter melon, like this kind of thing that's sort of a Russian roulette where like every melon for 10 melons actually tastes good, but the other 9 are very bitter, hence the name. You also find like just fruits and vegetables that are so exotic that it's the kind of thing you've read about, but you've never even had the experience of ever cooking with.
I
Just
like
like
to start
really,
looking in
really
amazement, like,
impressive
"Oh my
stuff.
God."
Yeah. Are you guys walking inside?
Yeah.
Damn right I am.
Yeah.
You guys walk in, the little bell goes off above the door. You see behind the front desk is a half orc woman. She has on like a gardener's apron that has like a little bit of dirt and just like scuffs on it and stuff like that. Like she obviously was working in a garden or something like that. She has like a trowel and a little rake, like one of those little tiny rakes that you garden with, like in a little pouch on her on the front of her apron. Her hair is sort of she has like the straight line bangs with like a bob that sort of goes a little bit past her shoulders, and she has like that sort of light greenish skin. And she sees you guys enter and she just says, "Oh, hello, welcome to the greenhouse. Is there anything
Hi.
in particular you are looking for that I could help you with?
Hey.
My name is Samantha."
Nice to meet you. I'm John. I just had a quick question. My friends and I, we're at a community garden down there in Little Feywild, and
Oh, incredible.
we saw this massive, like I don't know what's it, a kumquat or squash. The soil that they used was really spectacular. The grower didn't know the name of it, and he just gave us a sample, and we just wanted to know if you could point us in the right direction.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you looking for a specific type of soil or something like that?
Yeah,
or-
it was something like they used it to use magic with the soil to help bring more life into
Oh.
whatever they were growing. But
I
yeah, I was just-
understand. Yeah.
just
We
wanted
do
to know
something
if you had
similar
something.
here, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting plants out there, and a lot of that sort of flora is very temperamental, similar to like an orchid or something like that, where it just needs the exact type of temperatures and water and nitrates in the soil and all those different kinds of things. So yeah, we where do we get our fertilizer? Goodness gracious. Let me talk to a manager, and I will see if they are. I can't imagine that they wouldn't be willing to give up that information, but they might be weird about the proprietary sort of stuff because
no problem.
it's so rare. But yeah, do you guys mind hanging out for a second? I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
we can wait here if you want to bring him out here. That's fine too. Either
Of
way.
course, absolutely. Yeah. His name's Nicky. He should be here. Just in the he's back in the actual greenhouse. I'm sure you're looking in here. You're going, this isn't a greenhouse. Don't worry, our greenhouse is just in the back. That's where we do most of our gardening.
Gotcha.
We actually grow. While I'm gone, feel free to look around. We actually grow.
Will
Everything
do.
you see here is actually grown right in the back.
Gotcha.
Grow
That's
it all
incredible.
ourselves. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. But I'll be right back. And she sort of heads through. There's like almost saloon style doors, like double doors behind the counter, and she just pushes those aside. You see that as she opens the doors, they're like just solid wood. As they open, beams of light sort of like cast in as if like the sun is just like shining through those doors, and you almost immediately begin to hear like the buzzing of bugs, the like bird calls. You hear like the sound of like running water, like a babbling brook or something like that. It looks like she opened a door to like fucking Narnia. Like it was just all you saw was greenery, like just nature behind her. You imagine that just from that quick glance, best guess, the greenhouse is like connected to the back of the building.
Gotcha.
And so she is heading directly into the actual greenhouse itself and leaves you guys alone for a moment in this room.
I asked real quick. Anybody good at stealth?
I can stealth in a
Okay.
pinch.
I
particular.
also have that potion that could make me really small.
I have a +3. Anybody beating a +3?
Got a +4.
I am.
+4? You want
The
a dust?
butcher.
You want a dust of invisibility and follow after them?
You know what?
Do it. Do it.
I think I'll do that.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Incredible.
So do
Belkor,
I,
you were handed a small pouch of it almost is like sand or powder or something like that. And as you dust it over yourself, you vanish. And you are, what is the invisibility spell? 10 minutes? Off the top
Yes.
of my head. Yeah.
Yes.
You have 10 minutes of invisibility or until you either attack, cast a spell. Those are the ones, right?
Mhm.
Normally it's if you break concentration, but this is a magic item that you don't have to concentrate on. So you're just invisible for 10 minutes unless you do an attack or cast a spell. The second you do those, invisibility shuts off.
And as that happens, I open the front door behind me, so it ding 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 ding. It rings.
Genius.
Yeah,
So-
I guess.
Yeah. So Belkor, you're heading back.
I guess I'll sneak on in the back.
Incredible. So what I want is Belkor, I want you to make a stealth check with advantage because you're invisible. The other three of you, I would love for you to make perception checks or investigation, I suppose. Either or,
Do
your dealer's
investigation.
choice.
Investigation.
It's a 24 this time. I'm on fire tonight. I'm so mad that this is not a combat
And-
episode.
Question:
Mm-hmm.
Can I cast a spell to give myself advantage?
Depends on the
Actually,
spell.
Can I cast
'Cause if it's like
detect magic
fireballs, I'm gonna
to
say
try
no.
to search Arcana?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
What does a nat 1 get me?
Ooh, not one.
A trip
get
back
My
to the car.
hands.
You get too close. You get a little too close to that giant Venus flytrap, and you take 1 point of damage as it bites you.
Not a friend. Not a friend.
I got a
Trevor.
23 on that stealth, by the way.
23, incredible.
17 on my Arcana check.
17 on Arcana, and you got Detect Magic going. Roger that. Okay. What I will say with the Detect Magic, first and foremost, the 17 on Arcana, you are noticing that that fertilizer is present in any of the plants here that are potted. You see that. Obviously, like the vegetables and stuff, you're not necessarily picking up stuff from because it's just like a melon. So, like, there's no fertilizer.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like any of the things here that are for sale. That's not true. Hold on. There's one thing that Jaster will point out that you can then use retroactively, detect magic, and find some shit. At first, you don't see anything other than the fertilizer inside the potted plants that's magical. This is the customer facing side of the business, so nothing is really popping out as too crazy until Tint quickly bitten by a Venus flytrap. Swing past that. Jaster, you see in a special refrigerated unit in the corner, kind of. It is actually like, it looks like it's set up for a customer, like it's a like an order. And so it's bagged, which is why you didn't notice it right away, is a bouquet of black dahlias. John, they give off a slight magical glow.
Is there a name on it?
There's a name on it, but it's a random name. It's not necessarily like
Okay.
anybody
we
of
recognize.
import.
Okay.
That being said, so you guys are checking that out. You find the not belladonnas. I keep wanting to call them that. The black dahlias. So you know that they were purchased here. This is the place that grows this extremely rare flower using extremely rare fertilizer and stuff like that. Belkor, you enter into this greenhouse. As soon as you go through the double doors, you find yourself inside of a massive, like, atrium. You feel like you're in the middle of rolling hills on a countryside. Like, an entire commercial agricultural business almost. It is significantly larger than it should be based on the fact that you're inside of a massive city. There isn't, from the outside, the footprint of this greenhouse should not support this. This is magic that they're using to create this almost extra dimensional space, if you will. The same way that a bag of holding works. This is a greenhouse of holding, essentially, where it's just from the outside, it's like 10 by 10. On the inside, it's like a mile by a mile, like just massive. There's a literal brook running through it that's providing fresh water. There's like hills, there's orchards of entire trees. You see like lines and lines of crops, all different kinds of stuff here. But you find yourself unable to sort of delve too closely in all of the details because you find yourself at the entrance of essentially like not like a hedge maze, but kind of like hedge walls that sort of block your path from checking out too much on your own. But you do see Samantha begin to enter down almost like one of those English gardens, kind of like these beautiful hedge walls, and it's just like pavement on the ground. There's like water features and stuff, and she's walking along it, and she walks over to a Githyanki man. So like yellowish skin that has like some spotting in it, a very upturned nose and sharp pointy ears. This man is wearing also an apron and stuff like that. But you also would see clear as day that he has a gun on his hip, which you think is strange for a florist to have. He just has almost like a Glock just on his hip. You see him with a massive pair of hedge clippers pruning a tree. In the boughs of the tree, you see a body beginning to decay as the tree is eating that person alive. Samantha goes, I think we might have some trouble at the front. People are asking about the fertilizer and stuff like that. And you see the Githyanki go, fuck. All right, I'll tell the boss. Try and get rid of him, but if you can't, it is what it is. No worries. All right, I'll try. And the Githyanki walks deeper into the hedges and stuff like that, and Samantha slowly turns around, kind of fingers on the bridge of her nose as she starts to head back. And in that moment, John, you receive a text from Briar. And it says, Banshee was hired by the Grey Gardeners, a gang. Seems they have a florist shop as a front or something like that, which is fucking dumb because gardeners, florist, anybody could put that together. Anyway, hope this helps.
Except for us.
Hey.
I was thinking it was the zoo.
Hey. Hold on a second.
Jasper knew all along.
Yeah.
And with that, that's the end of episode 3 of Sphinx City Season 2. We'll pick up next time where Belkor is invisible inside of the greenhouse. Everyone else has just figured out that this is definitely the place that hired the Banshee, and they've got a ton of other potentially evil shit going on. And Samantha is not who she says she is? Crazy. I made that up right at the end when I realized if he's got a gun on his hip, she would see it. So naturally, she has to know that they're evil.
She's like, makes sense. You gotta defend these plants.
Yeah, I kind of like, in my head at first was like, no, Samantha will be good. Like that, they'll of course hire somebody who's like totally innocent to just like run the front of house. And then as soon as I described the gun, I was like, well, that doesn't make as much sense. So never mind, Samantha's evil. Oh no. And also, fun fact, there's legend of a plant called a Yadaveo, which is a man-eating tree from, I think, South America, but I could be wrong. Anyway, let's go around one more time. Do outros. Feel free to plug anything if you would like. And then we'll see you next time. Let's do it alphabetically, I think.
I'm Dale. I go by Death Breath. Once again, every session I have an amazing time. Just curveball after curveball. It's just I love it. I love this kind of story making.
Incredible.
Hello, it is I, Daniel the DM. How's it going, gang? What an episode. A lot of twists and turns, but oh boy, don't worry. We'll be back next time to continue this journey. You can catch me on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky at Daniel the DM, and catch me on Fears and Fortunes. We presented by the good folks over at Forgotten Adventures, another show that I'm also in.
I'm Molly Adeza, and you can find me on any apps under Molly Adeza or on my website, mollyadeza.com, where you can pick up my debut novel, which is also on Kindle Unlimited, available on Amazon. Let's see, Barnes & Noble. That should also be in Sphinx City. Some sort of massive books. Anyway, and yes, for the third session in a row, my cheeks hurt so much from laughing. But this is the first session that I did shed a tear because of John and his kid. Those were rough. That was so good.
The wholesome moments.
That's a great moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to go call my dad.
And I'm Taylor. I'm the other half of So You Want to Be a Dungeon Master podcast. Find us on iTunes, wherever you get podcast stuff. And then also we're on YouTube, obviously on Twitch, and all that stuff. So You Want to Be a DM. I had a blast. Every time is so much fun. I love having a table with so many beautiful people on it. It's so much fun.
Couldn't agree more. And so let's just wrap this.
Absolutely not. No. No, that's all we got for this week.
Damn.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Oh, God.
See you next time.